Well, hello there, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
How are you? Welcome to everybody to the Drinks and Dave show. We're calling this one Open Mic and Depression.
It's not open. They can't. You know
Well,
what?
not
It would be
yeah.
cool if they could call in. If they had
Well,
like a phone number, right?
we'll have to talk to our production crew about setting up an 800 number for us.
An 800, 1-800, what would it be?
1-800. Hello there, Tig Lily. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
And
You know,
anybody else who is in the bar, please say hello so we know who you are. And we know P Beat is lurking there somewhere. We know
I was
that
just
he
gonna
is.
say he's not here. Otherwise, he would already chimed in with what he's drinking.
That's true.
He's all. It's like I'm here. Here's what's in my hand. Let's get going.
Well, speaking of drinking, what are you drinking this evening?
Can you hear that, Dave? Can you hear the plane?
No.
No, that's awesome. I mean, like sometimes the atmosphere is just right that like it's like the jet is right in your face up here.
Oh, Rich is here.
Oh, can you
You want me to do it?
hold on? Hold on.
Yeah,
you go,
there we
Rich.
go. Now
Always
it's
good
official.
to see you.
Good to see you, Rich.
I went kind
Oh,
of
real quick about the plane, though. If I can't hear the plane, is there a chance it's
exist?
falling out of the sky?
Doesn't exist. Well, I'm just like if you were sitting next to me, I'd have to raise my voice so you could hear me. Literally.
Is that before or after you kissed me on the cheek?
Well, let's save that for later. I hear the plane a little. That's all right. As long as you can. I mean, like seriously, Tig, if you were here and I was talking in this volume, you would have to wait till the plane took off to hear me. So if it's just a little bit, that's fine.
Uh-oh. She can't hear it anymore. Did it crash?
Right, it's up in the air now.
Okay. So back, you said you were going lowbrow today. What are you
Lowbrow,
drinking?
not bourbon lowbrow.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I'm
don't
not
go
down
too
and
far.
out.
Yeah.
Right. We're drinking Kirkland's Isla single malt.
Isn't that made by not Macallan?
It's usually now they won't tell you, right? They don't tell you what this any.
Right, but I want to
But
say that it was
normally-
or Glenfiddich.
No, it's peated. It's peated stuff. I think. Well,
So maybe it is
I
Macallan.
assumed it was.
Well, you know,
smoky
most-
character. Well, it's Isla. It's got to be smoky, and it's normally. Why am I blanking? I had thought of it when I got out the bottle because I knew I was gonna have to say it's made by Coila. That's who makes
Oh, okay.
it. Coila,
Okay.
I would
There's
imagine.
Jerry. Speaking of lowbrow, here's Jerry.
Jerry, come on.
No.
How about speaking of smoky goodness?
Smoky goodness.
Here's
Oh,
Jerry.
and speaking of that, so anyhow, so that's what you're drinking. What are you smoking?
Arturo Fuente Gran Reserva.
Arturo
Look
Fuente.
how long this thing is. I'm going to be
Is
out here
that
for
a-
2 hours.
That's a Lancero, huh? That's
I don't
nice.
think it's thick. It's like a Toro thick. Is it double?
Well, you got
Toro?
Toro, double Toro, Corona Gorda, and then the Churchill.
I don't
think.
know, man. It's like a Toro, but they added on 2 inches to it.
Cool. Well, I'm actually being very, very bougie today with my drink.
Right.
I am drinking
Atta
water in a Guinness glass.
That's not right?
No, it's talking about. And then for my cigar, I am smoking a Liga Privada number 9.
That's
haven't
that's
yet.
dark.
That's dark,
You know, that's
chocolatey
one
and
thing
espresso-y.
I need to get over that I forgot when I got back into cigars that I had learned the first time is dark doesn't always mean strong.
No.
And that's what's tricky is because you would think it would be because like coffee, right? Darker is more intense flavor and stuff, but it doesn't necessarily hold true. And you can get some great flavors with a dark wrapper without it being too strong.
Well, I don't know if you caught our friend Tim's live from Cigars Daily last night, but they had Nick from Oliva on the show, and a lot of good things coming out from Oliva, and just as far as consistency across their entire board. Now, my favorite cigar, absolutely bar none, is the Padron 1926 Maduro Robusto, number 6. It's
You
just
haven't sent me
tremendous.
one of those yet to try.
And I probably won't. At $400 a box, I probably won't. No, I probably
I'm not
will.
asking for a box, Dave.
Oh, I thought you were asking for a box. So you just want a 1/400th.
What? No, I
So,
want a whole cigar.
oh,
I don't
okay.
want
Okay.
a dollar's worth.
I can do that too. But speaking of Jerry and speaking of things, we both did an experiment this last week, and it was
Yeah.
based on his.
Oh,
Don't
go
tell me you
ahead.
didn't do them.
They've been sealed up since I made them. On what? Sunday?
Oh, those are going to be
Right.
tasty. Oh,
Go
so you
ahead.
will call them the Nurse Dave smoked deviled eggs via balut. No, I tried it and I did it for 45 minutes as per instructions, not 4 hours per other
Yeah.
conversations that we've had. And they were actually very tasty.
Well, you didn't even
Just
say
a
what they
hint of
are yet.
smoke. What do you mean?
You didn't tell them what it was. You said we both
Oh, I'm
made
sorry.
something.
Smoked deviled eggs. And
That
they were delicious.
Right. He educated us that you can smoke just about darn near anything if you just
Hmm.
get some pellets. And right. So apparently we said, how long do you have to smoke them? And he said something like 45 minutes.
Correct.
Now, I guess that's right because he said that's what he said. But we were talking about smoking briskets and stuff like this like all day long, all these long times. And he mentioned getting this tube that you can use for smoking like on a gas grill. And he
Correct.
said that that would go for several hours. And I think that's what I was thinking because I bought that. I got some pellets, and the instructions say fill it up to within an inch of the thing, light it on fire, blow it out, and it should go for hours. And I'm like, okay. And it went for hours. So instead of 45 minutes, I smoked mine for about 4 hours.
But you got a great smoke ring. I saw the pictures.
Yeah, it penetrated at least what, maybe a millimeter or two into the egg, because
Hmm.
that's what when I saw yours, they still looked white, and I was like,
Hmm.
wait a minute, mine were not white. But we also realized that just like, anybody that drank like peated scotch that's not used to it,
Hmm.
they drink Lafroig or something, that would hit them in the face like a ton of bricks. But I had had a cigar that day. I drink peated scotch all the time. I thought they tasted fine. I even wanted more smoke. And we realized that might be part of it is that we're just used to the smoke. So I kept meaning to taste one of these things on a day I didn't have a cigar to see what it tasted like. And like I just said, I forgot, put them in Tupperware and completely forgot that I even made them in the first place.
They were good. They lasted, I think, a day and a half. And it seems like the smokiness did not create the after effects as we had discussed.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
Um, so, I was just going to mention that. What was the consistency? So on some of the eggs, the outside was a little tough, like it had gotten a little leathery. On some of the eggs, it didn't seem that way. So that's what it would be if you smoked them for a long time. I guess that makes sense. Maybe you dry out the outside or something like that.
Well, the biggest problem that I had is I didn't have one of those cigar tubes, or cigar tubes, duh, one of the smoking tubes. So I used a Kingsford steel smoke box, which is basically the same thing. Loaded it up, and I proceeded to realize that I did not have a butane or a propane torch. So it started out with one book of matches. Then it went to two books of matches. Then it went to both of my cigar lighters, emptying all of the butane. Then it went to one of Sharon's artistic heat torches, and finally I got it lit.
Yeah.
And so that
Well,
that that was the next thing I need to buy is a propane torch to light these things.
I had one of those, you got the long metal rod on the end of your Bic
Hmm.
lighter, and with the even curve, so I could hold it. But even that, it's not like the torch lighter with a cigar. It took forever to light those
Right.
things. So
Exactly. Yeah. But they were
yeah,
good. They were good.
yeah.
So thank you, Jerry.
Hold your bad. This
I've
is
been.
you can't start a campfire, so you lost your Boy Scout
Oh,
badge.
my Boy Scout badge. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
apparently so. So today we really don't have anything on the agenda for discussions. So anybody who's got questions for me or Dave, we will try to answer those as best they can. As far as I'm concerned, there is nothing off off limits, within certain limits, I guess. Wow. Maybe we should talk about trains.
Jiminy Jones. It's just like, what are those kids books, right? With the not little Roger, Richard something. It's little mice in the town or whatever, or Busy Town. You know what I'm talking about?
Not a clue.
Busy Town book. All right, never mind. It's like that. You got the planes, you got the cars, you got the train.
Well, what
Like
was the
Busy.
name of that? What was the name of that train that had the face on the front of it? Tommy the train. It haunt the face.
Thomas the Train Engine.
Yeah, that face on
Yeah.
there.
Richard Scary books.
Oh well, the
Busy
Thomas
Town.
the Train face haunted me.
Well, look, pro tip.
Ah, put the
pellets in the
pellets in the
microwave.
microwave.
Smarty pants.
Very nice.
He didn't tell us that either.
No, because
like
he wanted to.
withholding.
Well, because he wanted to laugh at us when we asked him why couldn't we
Yeah.
get these pellets lit.
So I got this big cigar here, and it's putting out a lot of smoke when I puff on it. I'm thinking, that's what you try next, Dave. You put your eggs in a box with a tube into it, and you into the box, and you smoke them with a cigar smoke for 45 minutes.
Well,
Hmm?
they say that if you're smoking a cigar correctly, you should take one puff every minute to a minute and 10 seconds to really enjoy the full flavor. Well, I must be a locomotive then because I timed that today earlier on the porch, and I'm puffing about every 14 to 15 seconds. So, yeah, so I can just see myself standing over the grill, blowing smoke on eggs for 45 minutes.
And running through 3 cigars in 45 minutes.
Yes, that would not be good. So I'm worried. P-Beat hasn't said hello yet. I hope he's
Yeah.
okay.
A little
Well, he
disappointing.
was the inspiration for my shave video today. He wanted me to do a Willy Wonka shave, so we did that. All chocolate related items in the shaving stuff.
Oh, I see. You have a chocolate soap?
Yep, CBL chocolate chip. It smells just like baking
Oh.
chocolate chip cookies. It's wonderful.
I don't know that you remember he did a breakfast combo where he had a coffee soap,
Hmm.
and then I have the blueberry muffin, and then was that when chocolate chip came out?
Yeah, about the same
Yeah,
time. It
I
was
must
when he was
still have
using
that.
the old labels.
Yeah, because he
Yeah,
said
I've-
mix your coffee with your pastry or something. And
Right. I've got to because somebody, Novice Wet Shaver over on the forum, indicated that he wanted me to do a coffee related shave with the aftershave and stuff like that. So I don't have any coffee scents, so I will have to hunt those around.
no, not even you don't have a coffee soap.
No.
Crazy. I think
don't
I've
know
got 3
why.
or 4 of those.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't, but I don't.
This is we're getting back into this is weird. Normally we default to food. Now we're shifting back to our comfort zone of shaving. But it's not
And-
it's roasted oatmeal stout by CBL Soaps. That one smells like an oatmeal cookie and it is dull. Yeah.
And then he also came out with a. We're going to have Chris on the show, but he came
Yeah.
out with a chocolate greedy aftershave, which smells exactly like the Montiel chocolate greedy EDP. It's wonderful.
Yeah, chocolate I can't do on putting on my face and
There he is.
it's too sweet.
There he
he
is.
is.
Oh,
now
he's,
wait a minute.
He's going lowbrow today.
I was gonna say this cannot be PB because I could see him doing Maker's Mark, but then it would have to have 5 qualifiers after it, right? Limited edition, single barrel, aged on
FAE,
the
right,
Himalaya,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Did you? Oh, speaking of the Himalayas, did you hear about? I didn't. I saw it right before we went live that there was a major earthquake in Nepal again.
Oh
So that can't be good.
no. So you're right. We don't have a theme for today. Evan Williams. Now, is the 1783 above the $20 a bottle stuff, or is that the white label $20 a bottle stuff? Dave, you don't know?
No, I've
We'll
got
find out
I've got
from
one
you.
Evan Williams, and I think it was $14.99 at Walgreens.
Right. That's the one I've seen. It's always on the bottom shelf of the grocery store.
Right? Yeah, behind the Kleenex boxes.
Love you, Jerry. Love you.
And no, we are not anti-bourbon. Well, Not really.
No, not it's everybody has different tastes, and my palate does not prefer. And we found out corn that we found an American single malt barley that is okay.
Oh no, that's just wrong. I'm sorry. That's wrong on so many levels.
Well, wait, why?
Well, one, I hate eggnog.
Well,
Can't do eggnog. Can't do eggnog.
you're
To me, it's
disqualified.
well, no, it's like sugar, cinnamon, and phlegm. That's eggnog.
Mm-mm.
Now,
Just
my
like
wife
that
loves
pudding.
eggnog. My wife loves eggnog.
Yeah, you seen that they at Costco they carry like the gallon and a half of like Dutch something eggnog, shelf stable.
Speaking of Costco and speaking of eggnog, which Christmas is what, 3 months away, 2 months away? We walked into Costco the other day and no Thanksgiving stuff, no Halloween stuff, all Christmas.
Well, you're late. That was out there weeks ago, buddy.
Ugh,
I was gonna wait for you to say that they're on to Valentine's already.
it wouldn't surprise me.
I wish they. I bet they do. I bet they have an eggnog shave. So somebody had to.
Well, if not, contact CBL Soaps and he might just make you
It'll
some.
make you one. So I had a weird thing we could talk about today
Okay.
that I was thinking about this morning, and and I don't know why I was thinking about this, but so some things track. I don't know how many times you do something or whatever. So we have this thing called Walktober at work. It's a promotion for healthy living and stuff for October. You download an app, you get teams of people, and then you earn leaves for walking every day, depending on how many steps you walk, right? And so
Okay.
that actually motivates a lot of folks to get up and go. And so that makes me every day, I'm looking at my Apple, what is it, Apple Health, I think, that
Hmm.
tells you here's how many steps you've done. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I'm sitting there shaving, and we count how many open blade shaves we have, or straight
Hmm.
blade shaves, or how many shaves in a row, all this stuff. And then some reason I started thinking about, we've talked kind of about artificial intelligence, and I've said like I love wearing my Apple AirPods because like when a news alert comes on or a text, it reads it right into my ear when it comes through, and I would love just to have that implanted in my head, right? I'm
Well,
opposite.
well, you do realize we're not. If Elon has his way, we
Yeah,
are not that far from having implants.
right on. So, so
Oh, that
I'm
would be so. That
opposite.
would be so fun. Dave, I'm in your head.
Get off my frequency, dude. But so I'm kind of putting all this together and thinking that I would just love to be in that time where you could just think in your head, how many times have I done this? Or how many times or how far have I done, walked or done
Hmm.
whatever? And everything you do is just tracked.
So basically, what you're saying is you want to be able to track things and have voices in your head say, like you think, how many shaves have I done? Well, Dave, you've done 1,456. And then correct?
Exactly.
Okay, you know what that's called? Voices in your head? It's called schizophrenia.
Yeah,
So,
but only if they're not on demand. But even stuff like, geez, I wonder how many eggs I've eaten in my life, and just have the number pop up. Or what do you think about it? I would love to be able to just pull statistics about my life out of thin air.
well, that's called memory.
You don't know how many eggs you've eaten in your lifetime.
No, but that's not a question I would probably ask.
No. All right, maybe this isn't going to be as long as it's. You're not helping, Dave. We need to go to improv
sorry.
school.
Sorry.
It's supposed to be yes and. You don't just shoot it down.
But if you ask me how many straight razor shaves, I've got it right there. Like
Right.
4,000,
Well, so what about
4,300 and something.
that brush you're going to give me at some point? What if
In
you're
my
like,
will.
I wonder how many times I have actually used this? Boom, Dave, 122
17.
times.
17.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I do. 17, because it's been frustrating all 17 times.
What? What's been
Well,
frustrating? The brush?
well, the brush, for those people that don't know shaving brushes, the brush was done by Lee Sabini, who, for years and years and years, was known as the best the brush maker or knot tire, as they say, and they're very, very, very dense knots. And mine is just a lather and a water hog. Hello, Tathra. How are you, buddy?
Use more soap. Use more soap.
I've tried that.
Yeah, but anyway, I was just thinking, because there's a whole camp of people that are like, I don't want to be tracked. I don't want anybody knowing, looking at my emails behind the scenes. I'm the opposite. It's like, bring it on, because if it gives me ads I like better, if it predicts what I want showing up on my map, so I don't have to type in the address.
But P-Beat brought up a very good point. And remember, I posted. You did. That. Okay, so if you sit there and you said, how many times have I made love before the age of 22? That could be a high number. Then you go forward and say, okay, I've been married 30 years. How many times now? And literally you could hear tumbleweeds going across the, But then you'd have to qualify that. Well, you know what? This is a G-rated show. We can't go into that.
Is it? It's not, but I'm a little afraid of what you're going to bring up.
But I support you, Dave. I support you. When you get your implant, I will be there for you.
I know, and I'm going to be irritating as all hell, because I go, do you know how many wheels are on that airplane I'm looking at? Do you know how many gallons of fuel are in the wing of that plane? Because ching, ching, ching. I'll be so smart, Dave.
Yes.
Which is weird, because you think about being smart in terms of just being able to get knowledge. And we've talked about this before, about, being older folks, that it used to be the Encyclopedia Britannica, if you know something. And go ahead, Jerry. You don't have to say it, just type it right out.
Just type it. Yeah, we can edit it. We can edit it.
But now, I don't know how many times that I might be asked a question by somebody, and the first thing I do is just Google it, and then say, well, here's what the answer is, or whatever. You don't have to say you Googled it, and you look so smart.
Right. Well,
everybody's base level of knowledge is how quick you can Google.
Right. Well, Tig put up that nice thing. Would you do a Neuralink right now if they knocked on your door or sent you, said, Dave, we want you to beta test our Neuralink. Are you in?
What's that mean? That it like connects your brain to the internet?
Yeah, it's a neural link to everything electronic. Everything.
Yeah, maybe.
But did you ever? Okay, before you say yes, I need you to go back in time a little ways, and I want you to watch a movie called Brainstorm, which was exactly that reason.
Brain what?
Brainstorm.
Brainstorm. I'll watch this. Yeah. Okay. This is a this is a fair point. I guess you got to be judicious in where you get your knowledge from as well, right? But that doesn't also mean that everything is true. Even, you could go to the best of sites and people could think something was true, and then you learn, oh, we found more information, that wasn't right, or whatever. But that's what's scary, is that we're getting to that point. So can I point out, 2 shows ago,
yes,
I mentioned that we were talking about 9/11, and I told you my biggest fear right now is having hackers shut down major industries. That night, we learned that the MGM had been hacked and shut down. So first of all, breaking news on Drinks and Dave's, can I point out? So we should be a source of knowledge.
But also, you remembered 2 shows ago when we talked about that. So why do you need Neuralink?
Well, because that's just one thing, Dave.
Oh, okay. So,
but hold on, you can't talk because I'm old now. So my thoughts start down on this path, and if you water that path, it gets muddy, and I can't keep going.
Yeah, but remember, one of the most joyous things we did as kids was playing in the mud.
No,
Oh, come
I
on.
never liked being
Well, we didn't have much
dirty.
mud, so when we had mud, it was fun.
Oh, so here's where I was going with that. is is the other thing that is equally scary to me, and I think just as realistic, but maybe a little farther down the path, is there's that thing with deep fakes that people can basically, with good computer graphics and stuff like this and voice sampling, make a realistic looking video of somebody saying something that they never said, right?
Right.
And then we're getting into 3D modeling and that whole fight in Hollywood with them using 3D actors instead
Hmm.
of the actors themselves. So if it's getting realistic enough that you can throw something on a screen and not tell the difference.
Well, perfect example of that was the newest Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah,
They
they
age
do that.
regressed him back to, and it was, it seemed that once they get the eyes correct in these movies, we won't be
Yeah.
able to tell, because even in some of the Star Wars movies, you had Governor Tarkin come back after he was already dead, and then you had Leia come back after she was already dead. So yeah, I can see what that happens, but yeah, Tigley put deep fakes, voices can't be trusted. But I love what she said earlier, and this is why I don't think AI is ready, is because it says my master gardener is named Google, but only after I read it from 3 different sources. So how much
Right.
time are you spending verifying the first person that said something?
Okay. Well, but wait, we got to get back to this. But hey,
Oh, sorry.
that this is what scares the hell out of me is that when you can't tell what is real or not anymore, and nefarious people like they just took over MGM Grand and shut them down and stuff.
Hmm.
So this can be used for artistic purposes, but it can very easily be used for bad purposes,
Well,
whatever you want to term them.
talking about using it for bad purposes, here's a perfect example. The
Did they
ABBA
do that?
concert in Vegas. Yes, they
What
did
they
that.
do?
They actually had ABBA on stage, but they weren't there. They were in their
Oh,
younger form and everything else. I mean, I guess the concert was supposedly good if you're an ABBA fan, but that's why that.
Dancing Queen.
But that's why that sphere that Steven had posted about in Vegas, which you're going to go see, that scares me too, because that sphere could be the beginnings.
Ignorance is the parent of fear. I've never heard of that, and I'm thinking about it because see, I think I'm trying to equate that to what I just said because I just said I'm fearful of this, but why would ignorance make me fearful of it versus the knowledge that I at some point wouldn't be able to tell if something is true or not, right? That's
Hmm.
I think that's scary. Now manipulated, now that's true, right? Because um, stuff like, and I'm trying to remember. See, I'm bad at. See, if I had the neural net, I'd be all over this because I could look up facts. But I know there is stuff related to um, companies being able to see where you've been based on your phone location, and then they
Hmm.
send you ads based on that or something, right? That, like, hey, I was just at Target yesterday and I start getting Target ads, and how the hell did that happen? It's because people know where you've been because you're broadcasting your location everywhere you go.
Hmm.
Now, I guess that's manipulating it, right? Or the YouTube says, "Hey, you watch this video, why don't you watch this one?"
Well,
That's
think about this. Okay, talking along that same subject, Rich says, "Oops." Rich said, "I always thought that ignorant was bliss." Well, go back in time when like during World War II, the end of World War I, World War II. The only way you got news about what was going on in the war is you had to go to a movie, and they had the newsreels. And what's funny is the goings on in the war. Yeah, you got through the newsreels, and then maybe what you got on the news. But look how happy everybody was post World War II, all the way through, the end of the 1960s. And then now that we've entered this world of instant information all the time, are we better off for it? or are we not? And I think that's the big question of the time. And I think AI is going to take it to the next level.
Well, what's crazy though is to Tigley's point too, it's not just information is instantly available. False information is also instantly available, or partial information, right? And
well, and Dad brings up a good point. Ignorance can also be the parent of naivete and complacency, which is very true. If you sit around and you don't know what's going on, and you sit on your butt and you don't do anything about it, then yes, I think that can contribute to the problem. And in my own household, we have this somewhat of this debate where I put a lot of trust, good or bad, I put a lot of trust in my faith. And what I mean by, and I'm by no means a Bible thumping, Catholic or anything like that. And that's a whole nother show, being Catholic, but we won't go into that. But I think my faith is I trust my intuitions through my faith. And so a lot of the stuff that we hear on the news and read in the papers, they throw so much at you. They throw all this information and this information and this information constantly catching. You're trying to decipher through that, where I kind of take a step back and say, okay, reflect, close your eyes, for lack of a better term, listen to that voice, and trust it on that. And I don't know if that's ignorance or not. I mean, but it makes me feel, if I feel warm and I feel that I'm at peace, whatever the subject matter may be, because you're getting bombarded everywhere. But if I always default back to my faith and say, okay, you ask that question, and that could be called prayer, that could be called testimony, whatever the case may be. But I think that has a lot to do with how people's mentality is because AI, what scares me about AI is it's going to tell us what we have to think. And that scares me a little bit.
Well, so interestingly enough, I've had a heck of a day, and I wasn't going to talk, maybe not at all about it here, or not much, but
right.
The biggest strike in healthcare ever is starting tomorrow, and my hospital is part of that. So it's been a rough time, and I can't speak to much of that because I can't, share my view and all that stuff. But what I was thinking of on my drive home, in a different strike, a lot of the issue is that people didn't all have the same information. And I thought of a perfect example is, so the nurses, they get information from their union at the time saying, there's 3 different levels of nurse in this hospital, say, and that our top nurses are getting paid less than the top nurses at these other hospitals nearby, right? So they see that and say, hey, we need a raise. What they weren't being told is that it's much, much easier to reach that top level at this hospital than the other hospitals. So we had, 500 nurses were paying at this level, where the other hospital maybe had 12. So you can't say we should get paid the same as them and have 10 times as many nurses getting paid that rate, because then you're talking about big differences of budget, right? So that's where they had part of the information and basing decisions to go out on strike based on that, without the whole picture, and being kind of realistic about, you're not comparing apples and oranges there.
Well, you bring up a good point. Is when we're talking, and I'm not going to go into politics, but I'm using the word politics just as a primer to that, is that you and I are on somewhat different ends of the spectrum politically. However, you and I are smart enough to listen to each other's point of view, so we have more of a well-rounded picture of what your opinions are based on the information that you listen to and the information that I listen to. And then hopefully at the end of the day, we can have a discussion without going crazy like what's happening in the world. And I think that's the problem, is people also, like you said, people are not having all the information. Now, do they have all the information and only choose to believe one side of it? And that's where the problem occurs, because if you've got this side and this side, but the truth is in the middle. Nobody wants to bridge that gap and come across the middle, and that goes for anything, whether it be politics, whether it be like the situation that you guys are in, or anything like that. It's somewhere along the line we've lost that ability to have two people from diametrically opposed views get together and start discussing it. Probably the most well known is religion, and I don't want to get into that conversation either. But if you look, I mean, from a religious standpoint, if you look at all the stories, all of them, whether you're a believer or not, doesn't matter. But if you look at all the stories, there's consistency in the stories in all the different religions. So to me, when I look at that and I say, okay, there's a flood story over here, there's a flood story here, there's a flood story here, the geographic record or the geologic record. Well, that pretty much seals it for me, saying, okay, there was something. Everybody kind of made their own little stories out of it, okay? But we know geologically, because the rocks don't lie, that something did happen. And all the different religions have that. Well, if we applied that same policy or that same belief to everything, I think, to me, people would get along better, because they'd say, okay, well, this is this point of view. This is this point of view. This is what I believe. This is what he believes. But can I learn something from him? And can he learn something from me? Now, that may be a pipe dream, but,
yeah. So Rich has an interesting point, that we don't all get mad when somebody thinks differently. Civility is a casualty in the information age.
Good point.
I don't know. See, I'm not educated enough, I guess, in this area to have an opinion whether it's related to the information age or not. But it does suck. And it has become like, I'm part of this group, so I believe everything that this group says, and whatever this group says is wrong, versus I tend to think most of what this group says is right, but I also like this or like that. I mean, you can't, it's hard to believe that you could be part of any one group that has an opposite group and hate everything about the other group, right?
Well,
I mean, there's so much that make up people.
Well, and it's funny, in my situation, in my professional career, owning a barbershop, especially, at a what they call an adult retirement community. So we've got people anywhere from 40 to 140. Well, maybe
dude, I miss
140.
retirement already.
Yeah. But, what I'm saying, though, is we've got people from all walks of life. We've got generals. We've got people that were linemen for the county, so to speak. So you've got blue-collar workers. You've got ultra executives. You've got high-end military people, scientists, oil vice presidents, actors, senators. And what's funny is in the barbershop, I try to maintain everybody's equal, but what to bring to the point that you just made is every single day, 18 to 20 times a day, I will hear an opposing view of something. And what I try to do is I try to take all that in, and it really, really does expose what Rich said. And I guess I would shoehorn off of that and say that the information age being everything that we see on our phone, everything that we see on TV, everything that we hear on the radio, forms people's opinions. And the thing that I notice the most where I'm at is that people will bash, not to their face, but they will bash another person's opinion, because somebody will come in and bring up a subject, and I'll say, yeah, I had another client that mentioned this. Oh, they're stupid. Or, no, they don't know what they're talking about. Or they've drank the Kool-Aid. And believe it or not, what it's done for me is I was, for a long period of time, and I think you know this, very, very far right. Very far right. Conservative, military veteran. This is the way it is. And then as I've started to open up my learning, I've started to realize that I went from the right and I have started moving more towards the center. And I'm in a good place right now, because I will look at everything, whether it be religious, politics, weather, whatever the case may be. I will look at all of it and say, okay, he had a good point. He had a good point. But what's funny is in the barbershop, even if I have an opposed view to what the gentleman is talking about or what the lady is talking about, at the end of the appointment, there's no aggressiveness, there's no aggravation, there's no thing. It's like, wow, yeah, I understood that. Now, granted, it may be the fact that I've got a straight razor to their neck and they're not going to say anything, or I've got shears in my hand. But no, I'm just saying that, why can't people just talk, and I have to bring this up because I know that you passed it by, but I would be interested in this as well. Oops, not that one. Where did it go? Did you erase
no,
it?
We're not putting.
You don't want your dad on the show? That might be fun to talk about.
You're looking
there it
for
is.
this one.
Little Nurse Dave.
No, I don't think that was a boring kid anyway. That was a boring kid. Tig Lily mentions this, and this is what's crazy is I don't believe that this is true anymore. That there are some people that could care less about, this and PB's comment. I had this up here earlier. You shouldn't say anything you're not willing to be responsible through time and eternity. People don't give a rat's ass. Well, not people. Some people don't give a rat's ass anymore. They'll stand and scream the most ridiculous stuff and not care at all what people think about them or how they make other people feel or all that stuff. And then Tiggly had a comment about you, I think. You love the ugly babies.
Look at this face. I'm 77 years old. I'm not an ugly face.
70s.
No, but I think you're correct. And I think what it's doing though is, and this goes back to what you were talking about earlier, when you have people that have partial information or not enough information and they exude that on you, you cannot tell me that that doesn't cause more stress in life. I mean, when you go into a store or a restaurant, you can feel it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I can feel it when you walk in and you see people look up at a server, and for whatever reason, they just, or in the airports or on the airplanes, people are just, they're hair triggers now. One thing, and they'll go off, and I don't know.
Well, and that affects our show. So for everybody that, that watches on the regular, even before we started this show, there were some things that we wanted to talk about, and we said, we can't.
Right.
Exactly. You and I are able to have discussions and, like you said, listen to each other's viewpoint and stuff like that. But right now we're scared stiff that if we were to broach one of the, the third rails, that boom, half of our subscribers would be gone and they wouldn't return.
Well, and that brings up a good point because, at the end of the day, we don't have to agree. We don't have to, but we can respect the other person's opinion and say, hey, I appreciate your opinion. Thank you for telling me that. I may not agree with it, but that's okay. Because if we all agreed about everything, it would be a really boring world, I think.
Yeah. We haven't talked about food at all, so you should probably somehow loop back to that. But
okay,
I wanted to mention,
I love Brussels sprouts.
Okay, so do I.
Damn.
Great starter day. No, but I wanted to say one of the quotes I'm going to remember forever that I heard just recently, and it's very simple. It's just, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Right? And that's what we taught our kids all the time is you're successful because you get help from other people and you learn from other people, and you never know the most about any subject. So you should learn what other people. So that's the problem now is people think that they're the smartest person in the room. And so what makes you think that?
Right. Well, anyway. PB brings up a good point, and this is not a political thing, but Game 3 of the World Series, October 30th, 2001. President Bush threw out the first pitch, and the country was united like anything, like any other time, and that's true. But however, the part of that you have to remember is why does it take a crisis for us to become unified? I mean, I think everybody's thought about this, that if we all of a sudden were, speaking of food, let's say the aliens invaded and we were the USDA choice cut for their dinner meal, we would all be, the world would become completely united against that threat. But there's the problem too, is we become united against an alien threat thinking that they're threatening us. They may just be driving by to say, hey, come on into the galactic neighborhood. And what would we do? We'd try to fight them.
Yeah. So, Dave, aliens, they already been here or not?
Are still here.
Still here.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, boy, this is a whole nother subject. because it crosses into faith beliefs and religious beliefs. And to me, if let's say that we were seeded, for lack of a better term, we were seeded by an alien race, and the technology that they had at the time was so amazing to our brains that we thought of them as gods. So if it came out that these, and I'll just say it, and I hope I don't make anybody mad, but let's just say this is my belief, not necessarily the belief of the show, but let's say we find out that Jesus and God, the Father, were really just the engineers from another being. Would that change my belief in them as gods? No.
No.
It wouldn't change it at all.
You veered off far. I'm not going to say left or right because that's politics. North. You veered off far north from the topic. But that's not completely crazy because that happened, way back in ancient civilizations, right? You have somebody come over from a more advanced civilization and they can't imagine, all these inventions that they've got and stuff like that. So they must be some Holy Spirit or whatever, because that's the only explanation.
Well, but here, if you look at different countries that were separated by thousands and thousands of miles, we've got pyramids almost on every continent. We've got hieroglyphs in almost every continent that shows images of the same things. Well, they didn't have contact with each other, so you have to at least entertain.
What are you talking about? They draw like animals and stuff.
No. You need to watch Giorgio Tsoukalos, the man with the most amazing hair on the planet. He's an ancient alien theorist.
Oh my gosh!
No, but what I'm saying is, you can see. But I mean, think about it. You've got pyramids that we can't even build today on different countries.
Except they have shown how they could do that. I mean, these were not stupid people.
No.
They invented calculus, before they had a calculator.
Okay, but how did the Moai get on Easter Island?
How did the what get on there?
The Moai, the tall, huge, 400-ton statues.
I don't know. I'll watch the documentary and I'll tell you next week. See, if I had the neural network, I would tell you.
Well, speaking of aliens and food, because this is a good segue, because octopus is delicious, is some scientists don't understand how octopi developed on this planet. So
octopus are amazing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So are they alien, or are they? What did they evolve from? Scientists don't know, and they've got a brain in each leg.
Are you sure they don't know?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah. Plus, they're smart. What movie was that? What movie was that when he was in a restaurant and the octopus tapped on the window and it was Alien. It was a series. It was a series, and they banged on the thing and he goes, "Hey, you're here." And he turns around and he's talking to the octopus. He goes, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "Well, I'm actually the special for tonight, but I need somebody to break me out." Well, see, that's another thing. There's not enough mindless comedies on television anymore, because that's our escape. Resident Alien, that was the name of the series. If you haven't seen it yet, you got to watch it.
Resident Alien. I watched Mork and Mindy.
Well, Nanu.
Mindless comedy, they're all over the damn place. I just can't handle the stupid comedy anymore.
From the octopus?
No, you said there's no mindless comedies anymore. They're out there. I just flip right past them.
But see, sometimes you need that escape.
No, I watch the mindless action movies. That's what. So my wife is gone. She's not even watching us live right now. That's sad. But
well, if you were in San Diego enjoying the beach, would you be watching us?
She's working. She's not.
Oh.
Anyway, when she's gone, that's what's on TV at night, is those stupid action movies where it's always somebody who used to be a sniper, used to be a CIA agent or whatever, and the poor guy's just trying to retire, and then something happens to his daughter or his grandchild or the president, and then boom, he's got to save the day. Those are the best. And nonstop bullets.
I know who you are. I know where you are. I will be coming to get you.
I will hunt you down.
Yeah, poor Liam Neeson. He's stuck in that role forever.
Yeah, but the crazy, he keeps putting those things out.
Yeah, and people keep watching him.
You know
But
what's
what I
here?
don't,
This,
but okay, if since we're on the subject of movies now,
yeah,
why, and tell me, please convince me, why was Barbie the number one grossing movie of all time?
God knows, dude. Ask him because I don't.
I
Because
just,
I can't imagine hearing, oh, they made a Barbie movie and thinking I gotta go see that. But wait, somebody, I won't call anybody out, but he's got a mohawk and he's part of the cadre, said that he went to go see the Barbie movie and which there's some nerdy scientific movie that came
oh,
out this year.
yeah, about the atomic bomb.
He went and saw both, and he said that the scientific one was worse than he was thinking it would be, but the Barbie one was better than he thought it would be.
Well, see, if we were to analyze that, that would tell me that that gentleman needed an escape, because like I love the Three Stooges. My wife can't stand the Three Stooges.
Yeah, I can't do this. So I was gonna wear this hat, right? Because I was having my hair's a little bit long in the front, and I took it off because the green screen thing's not working right with it. But if I was Bruce Willis and I put on this light colored hat, does that make you remember a certain movie he was in?
Ooh, boy, trivia question.
And then he bleached his hair.
Oh man, now you've lost. Was it a science fiction movie? And he was a taxi
No,
driver? Okay, that was
no, but he did have bleached hair then. But he didn't wear a baseball hat. He was on a sailing ship when he was wearing his hat.
Oh, I have no clue.
Yeah, I
What
don't know.
was
It's not the big part of the movie. It just I put this on, and for some reason I thought about that.
what was the movie?
What the hell was it? He kept changing personalities, and he was going to kill the president's wife, the first lady or something, and he had Jack Black build him like a machine gun. You remember that? Oh, we need one of the barflies
Yeah, we need one of the
to
barflies
come
to.
up with that. He had to
And
come in through Canada to get to the United States, and he came through on a sailboat during a sailing race, and he put the hat on and he's waving at folks. And
wow, I'm a movie guy and I don't have a clue what you're talking about. Maybe somebody
man,
knows in the bar. Now,
this
the
was
barflies have to remember that there are co-hosts. So if you guys have questions, and maybe they're afraid to ask us questions, because if you noticed, nobody's asked us one question.
because they're here all the time. You keep thinking
Yeah.
they're going to come up with new questions. They're like thinking we're just lucky they put up with us for an hour. So let me see. Bruce, see if I had the neural network, I wouldn't have to look this up. So I'll look at Bruce Willis filmography.
You'll probably say it and I'll know which movie you're
He's
talking
done
about.
500 movies though, so talk amongst yourselves.
So he played a bad guy
He played a bad guy.
and he had hair at that time. So that
I'm sure
narrows
it
it
was.
down. Well, that
I'm
narrows
sure
it
it
down
wasn't
because
big.
he lost his hair after moonlighting. The Jackal. Was it the Jackal?
The Jackal. That is
Good
it. Did
job,
you-
Rich.
Rich. Send that man a gift.
That was amazing.
Did
Thank
you see
you,
it?
Rich. No,
Did you see that movie?
no.
No. Oh, okay. That one's worth watching. Bruce Willis. You can probably count the number of movies that are actually worth watching that he's done. Well, the first three Die Hards. I mean, that's a given.
Yeah, but you had to do it. You had to go there. Die Hard is not, and I will underscore.
Better not
it
say
is.
Christmas.
It's not a Christmas movie.
So, buddy,
It is not
I'm
a
going to come
Christmas.
through the screen at you.
It is not a Christmas movie.
So, talk about having all the facts. There was a great article that looked at this and looked at other Christmas movies and gave characteristics that made it a Christmas movie and lined up all the other ones that are accepted as Christmas movies, right? And they said, so it happens around the holidays. Check. It has Christmas music. Check. There's a Christmas party. Check. All of this stuff that if you say, well, that's not what makes it a Christmas movie, then a lot of these other Christmas movies wouldn't count either, right?
You're going to tell me that the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas with Kurt Russell is not a Christmas movie.
Never seen it.
Okay. So, but how many Christmases have you enjoyed when somebody is blowing up a building?
That has nothing to do. You don't have to like it. It's a sad Christmas. Wait, but at the end, it's happy.
Well, then with that same level of argument, you would say that the I don't know, the one with Jack Skellington, the Halloween movie, is actually a Christmas movie because he goes.
I don't know that. Again, no neural network, Dave. Otherwise, I could quote the article.
Because see, to me, the epitome of a Christmas movie is Ralphie and A Christmas Story. That is the epitome of a Christmas movie.
Okay. But that doesn't mean all the other 700 movies are not Christmas
Yeah, but
movies.
I can't get behind the fact that Die Hard's a Christmas movie, other than the fact that it takes place. You know,
it takes faith, Dave.
Nightmare Before Christmas. That's it.
Boom. All right. Other than so, there was that one. Die Hard 2 was the airplane one, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Die Hard 3, was that the one where they were running around with the bombs?
Yes.
What do you think of them? I can be down with Die Hard 2. To me,
I like
Die Hard.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
If Die Hard's 100%, Die Hard 2 is around 85, and then they drop off drastically after that.
The major, I would say the original Die Hard for me, and that's it. I don't like the other ones. But that's like the Bond. There's not a Bond movie that I don't like.
You know what? I used to like Bond movies. And then I didn't watch them for a long, long time. And I went and watched one again. I'm sorry, Dave. I was bored out of my mind.
Which movie? Do you remember?
I don't remember. All of them. They're all the same, right? There's some action at the beginning. They build the plot and the mystery, whatever, for about 7.5 days. Then there's a car chase. And then there's a lot of action, shooting, all this stuff, and then it's over. The middle part of a Bond movie is super slow.
But wait a minute. You could argue that same point with Die Hard because he's crawling around in the ductwork for a long time.
Well, you're not comparing everything to Die Hard.
Okay, here,
crawling in the ductwork. So we gotta clock how long between dead bodies in Die Hard and then like a Bond movie.
But see, you know what I think is a wonderful Christmas movie? Because there is a certain part where they're enjoying their Christmas time. We can't discuss what they were doing, but Deadpool. Deadpool is a Christmas movie.
Never seen that one.
What? You've never seen... what is the best Christmas special of all time? Woof.
Oh, Christmas special?
The Bing Crosby ones, the Andy Williams ones, the Dean Martin ones.
You're into the music.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, but the Andy Williams Christmas special was something that we always watched. You know, and for me, when I know it's Christmas is when I see a Charlie Brown Christmas. That to me is Christmas.
You watch?
Because, well, I'm not allowed to watch Christmas Story anymore. Of course, but I'm not allowed to watch. I'm not allowed to watch Christmas Story anymore.
Really?
Yeah, because I bought 3 copies, not knowing that we had 2 in the movie thing, and then of course TBS runs at 24 hours.
I was gonna say, it's on TV like for free. I can't think of a Christmas special I like to watch other than I'm into Christmas music, man. Now's about the time we can start playing that, I think. I'm into the early Christmas music.
Thank you. So Nat King Cole, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, that type of Christmas music.
Classic. I like the Carol of the Bells, Drummer Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sucker for a good Carol of the Bells.
Mm-hmm.
But the other, and I know that we talked about closer to the holidays, we'll talk about holiday traditions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, and we don't normally watch it, we listen to it, but John Denver did a Muppet Christmas special.
Yes.
And that is a big family tradition that when we start opening presents, we listen to John Denver and the Muppets Christmas.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, speaking of Christmas stuff that I love watching is A Christmas Carol. All of them. And we do this every year. Sharon and I do this every year, is we'll watch the one with Patrick Stewart. We'll watch the original Christmas Carol. We'll watch the newer, darker Ebenezer and we'll kind of watch them all and kind of compare the one with George C. Scott. Those are kind of traditional Christmas type stuff for us. But speaking of holidays, the next one that's coming up obviously is Halloween, and I need somebody, either you or somebody in the lounge, to tell me why all of a sudden Halloween has become, from a decorating standpoint, almost as big as Christmas. Lights and
everybody's already got all the Christmas decorations they need. Now they got to move on to something else.
I just don't know, because, for us, when we used to go trick or treating, first of all, we took pillowcases, not the pretty little bags, and we would just go, and if their porch light was on, we'd say trick or treat. If their porch light was off, we were either terrified or we knew to go back later because we marked that home for egging.
When we get to owning our home we live in again, I'm half tempted to put up those lights that change colors permanently, right? So that you can do the orange and move it into yellow for Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then red for Valentine's. Just like obnoxiously.
Is that because, for me, I have a reason why I would do that, because you only have to put the lights up once.
Yes,
and you don't have to take them down.
100%. And that makes that's your excuse for leaving them up, right?
Exactly.
Well,
they're white. It's a party
St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and I can hit the green button on my lights. Why would I take them down?
Exactly. 100%. I mean, that's the fun part of this. But yeah, so you know what? We've almost gone an hour and 10 minutes with not talking about food. So we got to spend a few minutes on food. Have you enjoyed a Cobb salad this week?
Not a one, Dave.
Okay, that's part of your problem.
That's why I'm grumpy.
Yeah, you got to get your Cobb. We went out and had sushi today, so we were.
You're set.
We were pretty good, except I ate way more than I
Do you like sake?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
I was just curious because a lot of people,
I don't drink it very often, but I do like it.
Do you sometimes order it when you're out?
No, not usually. No, because the thing is, when I go to sushi, it's an event for me, and water and sushi, that's all I need. And then they look at me and they go, "You go home now. You eat too much."
Do you ever bring it home?
No.
Do you take out sushi?
No.
All right. Well, then you're out of. I was gonna say, there's in San Francisco, they've got a sake store. That's all they sell. Sorry, sake store. And when I worked in another hospital, my cubicle is right next to a Japanese guy. He used to say he's Japanese parts, but made in America, because his parents were Japanese, but he was born here. But he taught me about sake and the differences. And so just like wine, just like all this other stuff, I got into high-end sakes. And there you can buy the smaller bottles that you could like finish in one sitting. I was going to say, next time I'm up there, maybe I'll get a bottle that you can enjoy with your sushi. But
well, our speaking of that, our niece, our nephew, or our niece rather, was just in town from Las Vegas, who we'll see when we go up for our convention. And apparently, there's a newer sushi restaurant, and you guys may have them there, but we don't have them here, where they're on a conveyor. All the sushi gets made, and it just keeps going around the entire restaurant on a conveyor, and then you just pull the plate of what you want, and then you just stack the plates up.
You don't have anything like that there?
No, nothing like that.
It's not as fresh, but it's fun. No, the coolest one we have, I think I told you about it, is you sit at the table and there's a screen, and you push what you want, and then they make it, and then it shoots down pretty high speed on a conveyor belt, but stops right at your table.
Oh, wow.
And you take it off.
That's
and then
cool.
Your drinks that you order, a robot comes and up to your table with your drinks, like on a little shelf on the robot.
And see, that's AI. See, you're there. You're there.
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess.
So, well, let's go back to something P. Beat said. What is your favorite Halloween candy? Well, see, I'll say candy corn, and people will freak out. But it's a specific
Is it
type.
really?
I like candy corn, but it's got to be the specific one. I guess they call it harvest corn. So it's got the chocolate on the end, the orange in the middle, and the yellow on the end.
They all taste the same, Dave.
Yeah, but it's all here.
All right. It's all about the experience.
I would say the Snickers Fun Bar. I mean, if I was to pick a favorite.
Snickers.
Yeah.
I gotta go either Twix or Butterfinger. But see, none of those are those Halloween candy just because they come in a small package.
Well,
But
I mean, that's, I
those
mean,
are the ones I would steal out of the kids. What the hell is?
wax candy. You don't remember wax candy? The
I
lips?
do, but you just chewing on wax.
No, remember they had the little Coke bottles? You'd bite off the end and then drink whatever that fluid.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, you
Ah,
had like 4 drops of cherry syrup in the
yeah.
little wax thing.
Candy corn pumpkins. Yes,
Pumpkins.
they're creamy and grainy all at the same time.
Yeah, I guess realistically, I don't care for much of the Halloween candy. It's just the fun size
Do you guys get
candy
very many
bars.
trick or treaters? We don't get any.
No, we're on a hill, and the kids are lazy. They don't want to put the effort into it. So, no kidding, dude. Even us, we took our kids to a flat area by a school, and they cleaned up there. But no, plus, I'm antisocial, and so I'm not about to sit there with a big bowl of candy just for 2 trick-or-treaters. So we shut the lights off.
Well, I saw a picture today. I was going through our good friend Tim at Cigars Daily, his news feed, and I loved what he did for Halloween one year. And I'm not sure which year it was, but what he did is he put out a table and it says for all the kids, and he had candy. And then right next to that, he had a big bowl of cigars, and it says for all the stressed out parents. I
Right
thought
on.
that was beautiful. Which Dave is
Yeah.
fun sized?
Oh, come on,
Tumbleweed,
you
tumbleweed.
know. You know what? This is not. The kids would hate you, but it's not a bad idea. That's kind of funny. It's not as bad as like a toothbrush or something.
Oh,
Like a,
we had a dentist in our neighborhood when I was growing up, and that's what you got.
what a
You got
jerk.
a fun size thing of Crest and a toothbrush.
Fun size, like you're in first class, huh? You
Right,
get to like the little
exactly.
one use
Yeah,
crest. So
exactly.
I've got. We'll wrap it up unless this question takes a half-hour discussion. But when I was talking about sake,
Hmm.
right? Because I learned that's the right way to say it. I don't remember what the word was. Oh, we were watching one of those food review shows where the people go to different restaurants and they all go to those restaurants and they talk about it. And somebody went to a Mexican restaurant, and they obviously spoke Spanish natively, and but they didn't have an accent. So they'd be talking along, but then they would mention some name of a food in Spanish, and all of a sudden have the thickest whatever Hispanic sounding accent, saying it in Spanish, obviously. And I was like, what is that? You're speaking in English. Why would you switch to another language or talk with an accent or whatever for certain words? And they're like, well, because it's a Spanish name or it's a Spanish word, or like, yeah, but it's also an English word. So why
Well,
don't you just
a
why
perfect.
go
Here's
ahead?
a perfect
What do
example.
you think about that?
Normal people say enchilada, but if you're going to say it traditionally, you have to say enchilada, lada, or churro instead of churro, or
Right. In Spanish,
right,
right? Churro is English. Churro would be
churro,
Spanish,
right.
right? So what do you think about when that happens? My thought is this is BS. You're speaking in English. Don't switch to another language for one word. Say it. I get that they say it that way in Spain or Mexico or whatever, but we're not there. You're not speaking in Spanish. Why are you changing to another language for one word?
Oh, speaking that, Rooster just reminded me of something that occurred yesterday on another show. Be careful over the next couple of months because the cost of root beer may be going up because of an accident that they had regarding the gravitational forces of different style of root beer.
All right, but to answer my question, what do you think about that? No matter what language it is, people that will switch to another language just for one word because it might have originated there.
Well, I think in today's world, it's because they don't want to. Um, because if you go to a restaurant and say, "I'd like to have a quesadilla," but the person saying it on the show doesn't want to offend anybody from the Hispanic face, so they'll say, "Oh, we're going to make quesadillas,
Uh huh.
quesadilla." So that's I think that's
I'm
where
not
they.
satisfied with that answer at all, Dave.
Well, I mean, they're trying to appease You
Yeah,
know,
but it happens, and you've heard it, right? Not
sure, I
just
do
on
it.
TV, but
Sure.
all right.
I mean, um, yeah. I mean, yeah. And
Seriously.
I like what Rich put a couple seconds ago. One year I gave out Xylem sticks.
What did he?
He goes, I gave here. I'll put it. He goes, I gave out Xylem sticks for Halloween.
What is that?
You know the little cracky lights that you shake and they glow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, see, Rich gets what I'm saying. One of his pet peeves too.
Well, but growing up in the Southwest though, it kind of yeah, like Tig put tortilla instead of tortilla. You have to have that tortilla to say it
Right.
right.
I get
But
it if you already have an accent, but to slip into an accent for one word.
yeah, but accents can be fun though. Because
All
if you
right,
want
whatever.
if you want to
Maybe
talk
this
like
is the
if
grumpy
you
old man. Get
yes
off my lawn.
if you want to talk like you're Spanish and you want to have enchiladas and quesadillas and arroz con pollo, see it sounds sexy instead of me saying, "Yep, we're gonna have quesadillas, some chimichangas, and arroz con polo." It doesn't sound as good because food is all about how you present it.
Yeah. All right. Here's shot glasses. Giving out shots for Halloween. That's a good one. That's a good way
Wow,
to get arrested.
I want to
bet,
go
but-
to Steven's neighborhood.
All right, buddy.
Well, real quick,
God.
so thank you everybody
Yeah.
that stuck around for this dumpster fire of a show today. Although it was fun. A couple of upcoming things. I think that we're here next week. And then on the 19th, mark your calendars, on the 19th,
Yeah.
we are going to be having Mr. Chad Vargo. And Chad is a referee. So we're going to switch it up to sports-related stuff. He is a referee both in high school and college for both football and basketball. So make sure you
Yeah.
have any questions. He knows the rules better than anybody. And I didn't realize this, but the rules change every year, and they have to know these rules. And another, to speak to something that we spoke of earlier, is the way referees are treated now has gone
true.
completely off the rails, and so I'm sure he'll bring that on.
No,
So-
yeah, I don't know what he's going to be able to share in terms of his personal stories, given that he is in this profession, getting paid for it, and all that stuff. But he's got some really interesting stuff he shared, and also things that they do to try to deal with the kind of the way that refs are dealt with in sportsmanship in general and all that. So,
And also,
we'll see what it can pull out of him.
I also wanted to say that if you guys have got, since we don't have any guests scheduled for next week's show, if you have any ideas, either post it to Dave or myself. And don't forget to please subscribe if you're not already subscribed to Drinks and Dave's. We're getting there, 48 more, and we can go live on our own channel.
You know what's crazy is that, so we've got, we're up to 11 people, double digits. We got the people that watch the show, but then I know you have a lot more views, but I'll have like 20 people that will watch the show after it's posted.
Right.
And it's like, where are they?
Right.
Come and subscribe to Drinks and Dave's just so we can get over to our own channel.
Well, and we do need to
Come
thank
on.
Tim at Cigars Daily, because I know Rooster is from over there, and I think that a couple other people have come over from over there, so we do appreciate that. But also, I did it on my channel, Barber Dave Shaves and such, and I know Dave is considering doing it. We're running a 30-day, at least I'm running a 30-day PIF, or a giveaway. So if you comment, it was a James Bond themed shave video, and if you comment on that and tell us your favorite Bond movie, your favorite Bond actor, and who you'd like to see play Bond, James Cavill, then also go over to Drinks and Dave's and subscribe. If you do all those things, you will be in the contest, and we know if you've subscribed or not. So please go to Drinks and Dave's and subscribe.
Watching you.
Yes, we're watching. We're watching.
Sean Connery. That's the answer. Right? I mean, I don't know spoilers, but he was
Okay.
the
No,
best,
that's
right?
fine. And who, and what was your favorite movie of all the Bond movies?
I don't know, man. It's probably all with the what's the newer guy, and he was in a casino.
Daniel Craig.
Probably when he was, yeah.
So it could have been Casino Royale, Spectre.
I think Casino Royale. That might.
That was a
have
good
been.
one. Yeah, that was a good one.
Did he play poker or something
Yeah, well,
with the guy
yeah.
with the funked up eye?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I like
Yes.
that one. The guy with
And
the
then,
funked up eye.
and then, who would you like to see as James Bond? Because that's the big thing right now. They're
Britney
trying to
Spears.
choose. Well, she's crazy now. No, the guy that played Superman, I think his last name's Cavill. I think he would be perfect because he's a Scotsman.
Oh, does
And
he
so
have an
that would-
accent?
Yeah, I think I think he did. I think he has one in I forget which show.
Is
that
Sean
he was in.
Connery dead?
Yes,
Oh, all right.
yes. In
Guess
fact,
that's that.
there's
Well,
only.
can we do a deep fake?
Oh, I'm sure they can. There's only.
Oh.
I think there's only one Bond. Oh no, two Bonds still alive. Daniel Craig, and Pierce Brosnan. I think are the only two. No, and the one he only did one movie. God, what was his name? Ugh. Somebody help me out here. He did one movie, and I thought he did very good as Bond, but people didn't like him.
What is? I'm curious what show and tell with pics. I'm curious what. She mean maybe you could tell your husband.
Yes,
what you have in
PB.
mind.
Tell us what you mean by that.
This is Tig Lily.
Yes.
So I'll take this platform the way we have it right now is not very photo friendly. If you recall, when I did photos from my cruise, I had to share the screen. So the only two ways that we can show pictures is sharing the screen or with a slide from like a PowerPoint, which you'd have to do a slide for every picture, which we could do. So depending on what you're talking about, if it's not a bunch of pictures,
Well, and I think once we can go live on our channel, we can actually go live on YouTube, and I think you can share pictures a little bit easier there with a live YouTube as well,
Maybe.
and it'll still work with StreamYard.
Who's this guy?
George
George
Lazenby. Yeah, that wasn't him,
You
but I
know?
remember him as Bond.
All right.
Well, everybody in the Barflies, we appreciate you coming to see us. And we will be here same time, same bat channel next week. And tell your friends. You know, we have a lot of fun. And like I said, the idea, you guys are the co-hosts. So please give us your ideas. And we will.
You see how it's getting dark here, Dave? If
Yeah,
they
I
don't
noticed
change
that.
the time soon, I'm going to have to go and
Well,
do
I
the
think
show
the
from
time.
inside.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, this year time change begins November 10th, I believe. So we don't change. So you guys will actually drop back an hour. I think you guys will
Cool.
go to 5 o'clock, and then we'll be the same as Colorado, Utah, and New Mexico, I believe.
All right, Dave.
All right, Dave. Well, you have a great
guys.
remainder of the week. Everybody in the lounge, we certainly appreciate you joining us, and see us again next week on Drinks and Daves. Good night, everybody.
Hi, Dave.
Night, Dave.